My name is Lewton Jones. I also go as Lou Jones, and I teach ukulele at Portland Community College. I teach at the Sylvania campus and also the Willow Creek campus primarily. And I've been teaching it for about 8 years. My motivation for music was quite a long time ago, actually. I played in high school. A lot of music. I just always liked music. I like poetry and things like that. I've been playing the ukulele for about 8 years, which isn't hard to believe, but it's true because I've been teaching it. So sweet, so fair. The history of the ukulele was surprising to me. I think for a lot of people, it actually comes from Portugal. They were on a ship called the Raven's Claw, which went to Hawaii in 1622. And the Portuguese sailors came out to greet the Hawaiian people with these little ukuleles. They weren't called ukuleles. I'm not sure what the Portuguese called them, probably little guitars or something. And then the Hawaiians were very intrigued by the sound and thought it was very charming. And so they named it the ukulele, which means little jumping flea in their language. Different sizes of ukulele. It's interesting because a lot of the tenors are kind of about the same size. And they can get a little bit larger than this or that, you know. But then it moves up to what they call the soprano, which is a little bigger. And the soprano, of course, is a different tone, a little higher tone, or lower tone, excuse me, a little lower tone. And then when you get to the baritone, it gets really low because it's tuned like a guitar. It has the same bass kind of strings as a guitar. It's not quite as thick, but it's a nice combination when you have all the different the different sizes, because it sounds a little more orchestrational when people play together. If you just play all with the small tenors, it kind of sounds like Steamboat Willie or something over and over and over again, which is fine. It sounds beautiful, you know, because then you work with techniques and things and rhythm techniques and that sort of thing. Different ways you play, the styles. If I was going to play a baritone, I'd probably be doing, I don't know, more folk songs or something, you know, because it's kind of like a guitar. With the sound of the higher ukulele, you're going to get that sort of Hawaiian sound, if you want to call it that, at least what you're used to calling that. There's a lot of the chipper, almost banjo kind of, texture to it. It also sounds like a harp. When you can play it really quietly, and then you can play Celtic music just like a harp. It's really interesting how you can move it around. You can even finger pick a little bit like a little folk harp or something. The things about the program that are fun to do is to have a lot of guitar players show up, like I say, piano players show up, and people who've never played music ever in their life. It's a really easy instrument to play. It's easy to push down the strings. It's a real enabler, you know. It gets people where they can actually access music. And one of the things that I do is teach people what they call tablature, which isn't really like traditional music with staves and that sort of thing, and crochets and all that, that annotation that you have to learn. So it's very accessible. So a lot of people who've never played music are suddenly able to like push down these little strings, and they can actually hear musical narratives and things that they already know, like we'll do Ode to Joy by Beethoven or something like that. And it's a lot of fun to see people understand that music can be accessed. I think that's one of the things that it's great about the class. If I had to describe the ukulele, I would say that it was mirthy, like a mirth. But I'd also say that it was little and fun, if I use two words, and that I would just go with the ukulele, like the Hawaiians, and I'd say that it was a little jumping flea. You know, it is this sprightly little gadget. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while among the fields of barley in